Shalom and blessings, warriors of Yahuah and the truth. If you guys look in my community section, I will be posting the video where we went on live today on one of my sister's channels. Then you guys can find tomorrow's live. We're going to go on at noon Eastern Standard Time. So if you guys are available, you guys can come on and watch. We are now in Hadassah. We went through Ecclesiastes. I'm gonna see if maybe the sister wants to go into the Sefer and read Ecclesiasticus, because it kind of goes along with it, with the last teaching we did on our first live, which was Ecclesiastes. Okay, so this is the last part of the Testament of the 12 Patriarchs in the book of the Shalmayim. This one I think is a little bit shorter, so I think I'll be able to get through this one, and then I'm going to do Yahuah's redemptive story. I hope you guys enjoy this lesson, and here we go. AYD BENYAMIN, the 12th son of Yaakov and Rachel. The copy of the words of Benjamin, which he commanded his sons to observe after he had lived 125 years. And he kissed them and said, As Yitzchak was born to Abraham in his old age, so also was I to Yaakov. And since Rachel my mother died in giving me birth, I had no milk, therefore I was suckled by Bilhah, her handmaid. For Rachel remained barren for 12 years after she had borne Joseph, and she prayed to Yahuah with fasting 12 days, and she conceived and bore me. For my father loved Rachel dearly, and prayed that he might see 2 sons born from her. Therefore was I called Benyamin. That is a son of days. 2. And when I went into Mitzrayim to Joseph, and my brother recognized me and said unto me, What did they tell my father when they sold me? And I said unto him, They dabbled your coat with blood, and sent it, and said, Know whether this be your son's coat. And Joseph said unto me, Even so, brother, the Canaanite merchants stole me by force. And it came to pass that as they went on their way, they concealed my garments, as though a wild beast had met me and slain me. And so his associates sold me to the Yishmaelim, and they did not lie in saying this, for he wished to conceal from me the deeds of my brethren. And he called to him his brethren, and said, Do not tell my father what you have done unto me, but tell him as I have told Benjamin. And let the thoughts among you be such, and let not these things come to the heart of my father. 3. Do you also therefore, my children, love Yahuah Elohim of Shamayim and Aretz, and guard his commandments, following the example of the good and Kodesh man Joseph. And let your mind be unto good, even as you know me, for he that has his mind right sees all things rightly. Fear you Yahuah, and love your neighbor, and even though the Ruachoth of Baal claim you to afflict you with every evil, yet shall they not have dominion over you, even as they had not over Joseph my brother. How many men wished to slay him, and Elohim shielded him? For he that fears Elohim and loves his neighbor cannot be smitten by the Ruach of Baal, being shielded by the fear of Elohim, nor can he be ruled over by the device of men or beasts. For he is helped by Yahuah through the love which he has towards his neighbor. For Joseph also besought our father that he would pray for his brethren, that Yahuah would not impute to them as sin whatever evil they had done unto him. And thus Yaakov cried out, My good child, you have prevailed over the bowels of your father Yaakov. And he embraced him and kissed him for 2 hours, saying, In you shall be fulfilled the prophecy of Shamayim concerning the Lamb of Elohim and Savior of the world, and that a blameless one shall be delivered up for lawless men, and a sinless one shall die for wicked men, in the blood of the covenant, for the salvation of the other nations and of Yasharal, and shall destroy Baal and his servants. 4. See you, therefore, my children, the end of the good man. Be followers of his compassion, therefore, with a good mind, that you also may wear crowns of glory. For the good man doesn't have a dark eye, for he shows mercy to all men. even though they be sinners, and though they devise with evil intent concerning him. By doing good he overcomes evil, being shielded by Elohim. And he loves the righteous as his own soul. If anyone is glorified, he does not envy him. If anyone is enriched, he is not jealous. If anyone is valiant, he praises him. The virtuous man he lauds. On the poor man he has mercy. On the weak he has compassion. He sings praises unto Elohim. As for him who has the fear of Elohim, he protects him as with a shield. He that loves Elohim, he helps. He that rejects all Elion, he admonishes and turns back. And he that has the grace of a good Ruach, or the favor of a good Ruach, he loves as his own Ruach. 5. If therefore you also have a good mind, then will both wicked men be at peace with you, and the profligate will reverence you and turn to good, and the covetous will not only cease from their inordinate desire, but even give the objects of their covetousness to them that are afflicted. If you do well, even the unclean Ruach will flee from you, and the beasts will dread you. For where there is reverence for good works and light in the mind, even darkness flees from him. For if anyone does violence to a Kodesh man, he repents. For the Kodesh man is merciful to his reviler and holds his peace. And if anyone betrays a righteous man, the righteous man prays. Though for a little he be humbled, yet not long after he appears far more glorious, as was Joseph my brother. 6. The inclination of the good man is not in the power of the deceit of the Ruach of Baal, for the angel of peace guides his soul, and he does not gaze passionately upon corruptible things, nor does he gather together riches through a desire of pleasure. He does not delight in pleasure, he does not grieve for his neighbor, he does not sate himself with luxuries, he does not err in the uplifting of eyes. For Yahuah says to store up your treasures in the SHAYMAYIM, because you can't take what you have here with you. Yahuah is his portion. The good inclination does not receive glory or dishonor from men, and it does not know any guile or lie or fighting or reviling, for Yahuah dwells in him and lights up his Ruach, and he rejoices toward all men always. A good mind does not have two tongues, of blessing and of cursing, of contumely and of honor, of sorrow and of joy, of quietness and of confusion, of hypocrisy and of truth, of poverty and of wealth, but it has one disposition, uncorrupt and pure, concerning all men. It has no double sight, nor double hearing, for in everything which he does or speaks or sees, he knows that Yahuah looks on his Ruach. And he cleanses his mind that he may not be condemned by men as well as by Elohim. And in like manner the works of Baal are twofold, and there is no singleness in them. 7. Therefore, my children, I tell you, flee the malice of Baal, for he gives a sword to them that obey him. And the sword is the mother of 7 evils. First, the mind conceives through Baal, and first there is bloodshed. Secondly, ruin. Thirdly, tribulation. Fourthly, exile, filthy death. Sixthly, panic. Seventhly, destruction. Therefore was Cain also delivered over the 7 vengeances by Elohim. For in every 100 years Yahuah brought one plague upon him. And when he was 200 years old, he began to suffer, and in the 900th year he was destroyed. For on account of Havel, his brother, or Abel, most people know him as, with all the evils was he judged, but Lamech with 70 times 7, because forever those who are like Cain, in envy and hatred of brethren, shall be punished with the same judgment. 8. And do you, my children, flee evil doing, envy and hatred of brethren, and cleave to goodness and love. He that has a pure mind in love does not look after a woman with a view to fornication, for he has no defilement in his heart, because the Ruach of Elohim rests upon him. For as the sun is not defiled by shining on dung and mire, but rather dries up both and drives away the evil smell, so also the pure mind, though encompassed by the defilements of earth, rather cleanses them, and is not itself defiled. If you go back up to where it says that Yahuah repays what happens to okay, so if you commit a crime like Cain did to Abel, and you murder someone, he's going to bring plagues upon you. Like, you have to be careful not to turn Yahuah to wrath. Do not fall off of the narrow way. 9. And I believe that there will be also evil doings among you, for the words of Enoch the righteous, that you shall commit fornication with the fornication of Sodom, and shall perish. All save a few, and shall renew wanton deeds with women, and the kingdom of Yahuah shall not be among you, for straightway he shall take it away. Nevertheless, the temple of Elohim shall be in your portion, and the last temple shall be more glorious than the first, and the 12 tribes shall be gathered together there, and all the other nations unto all Elion shall send forth his salvation in the visitation of a firstborn prophet. And he shall enter into the first temple, and there shall Yahuah be treated with outrage, and he shall be lifted up upon a tree. And the veil of the temple shall be rent, and the Ruach of Elohim shall pass on to the other nations as fire poured forth. And he shall ascend from Sheol, and pass from earth into heaven, Shamayim. And I know how lowly he shall be upon earth, and how glorious in Shamayim. Ew, Roscoe. 10. Now, when Yosef was in Mitzrayim, I longed to see his figure and the form of his countenance, and through the prayers of Yaakov my father, I saw him while awake in the daytime. Yeah, you stink, stop. Even his entire figure exactly as he was. And when he had said these things, he said unto them, Know you therefore, my children, that I am dying? Do you therefore truth and righteousness, each one to his neighbor, and judgment unto confirmation, and guard the Torah of Yahuah and his commandments. For these things do I leave you instead of an inheritance. You also therefore give them to your children for an everlasting possession, for so did both Abraham and Yitzchak and Yaakov. For all these things they gave us for an inheritance, saying, Guard the commandments of Elohim, until Yahuah shall reveal his Yahusha to all other people. And then shall you see Enoch, Noach, and Shem, and Abraham, and Yitzchak, and Yaakov rising on the right hand in gladness. You're the one that stinks. I'm not the one. You did it, Roscoe. Then we also rise. Then shall we also rise, even one over our tribe, worshiping the King of Heaven, who appeared upon earth in the form of a man in humility. Roscoe came to give me a handshake. Love you, buddy. And as many as believe on him on the earth shall rejoice with him. Then also all men shall rise, some unto glory and some unto shame. And Yahuah shall judge Yasharal first for their unrighteousness. For when he appeared as Elohim in the flesh to deliver them, they did not believe him. And then shall he judge all the other nations, as many as did not believe him when he appeared upon earth. And he shall convict Yasharal through the chosen ones of the other nations, even as he reproved Esau through the Midyanim, who deceived their brethren, so that they fell into fornication and idolatry, and they were alienated from Elohim, becoming therefore children in the portion of them that fear Yahuah. If you therefore, my children, walk in kodeshness, according to the commandments of Yahuah, you shall again dwell securely with me, and all Yasharal shall be gathered into Yahuah, or unto Yahuah. Okay. 11. And I shall no longer be called a ravening wolf on account of your ravages, but a worker of Yahuah, distributing food to them that work what is good. And there shall rise up from my seed in the latter times one, beloved of Yahuah, hearing upon the earth his voice, and a doer of the good pleasure of his will, enlightening with new knowledge all the other nations, even the light of knowledge bursting in upon Yasharal for salvation, and tearing away from them like a wolf, and giving to the synagogue of the other nations. Until the consummation of the age shall he be in the synagogues of the other nations, and among their rulers, as a strain of music in the mouth of all. And he shall be inscribed in the Kodesh CEPHERIYM, both his work and his word, and he shall be a chosen one of Elohim forever. And through them he shall go to and fro, as Yaakov my father saying, he shall fill up of that which your tribe lacks. 12. This is the last one in the 12 patriarchs. And when he finished his works, he said, I command you, my children, carry up my bones out of Mitzrayim and bury me at Chevron near my fathers. So Benjamin died 125 years old at a good old age, and they placed him in a coffin. And in the 91st year from the entrance of the children of Yasharal into Mitzrayim, they and their brethren brought up the bones of their fathers secretly during the Canaanite war, and they buried them in Chevron by the feet of their fathers, and they returned from the land of Canaan and dwelt in Mitzrayim until the day of their departure from the land of Mitzrayim. All right, next time, we already read through all of Baruch in the Sefer, so we are going to just skip over to the Ascension of Isaiah. And I read 3rd Baruch out of this book for you guys, so we don't have to go back to that. We are almost done with this book, so I'm going to pick one of the other ones to read later on with you guys when we finish this one. I don't know if we're going to read Yosef Antiquities or Yosef Wars after, or wait, is it Josephus Antiquities or Wars. I have a few other ones that are out right now. I think it's Hayavoth the Fathers, and it might be the Bisora or Bereshit. I'm not sure. It's one or the other. I know I have 2 of them back there too that are out of the box that I can get to easily. And I think they're the ones that have the extra books that are not in the Sefer, that they took out of the Sefer to put them into Dr. P's library and make more money off of the books. So now I understand why the regular Sefer from like eBay, not the Millennium Edition, costs so much more. It costs like $300 if you want to get a used Sefer. It's insane. But I've got a used one from Millennium Publishing Group for only 90, or no, it would have been 90 if I wouldn't have got the used. I got the used version, and it ended up being, I think, with the coupon code 47 or something like that for the Sefer, and the coupon code was for the whole order. I got the whole Dr. P's library. I have a few of those for sale. If any of you guys are interested, contact me, and I will ship them out to you if you would like to buy them. I'm selling them for only $30. They're on the Sefer Publishing Group website for $35. And then the Yom, I think it's called Yom Kafar or Yom Teruah book. That one I'm gonna just, I think I have it posted on my PayPal store for $20 or $25. So that one just says all of the dates for the Kodesh days, and it's from the last few years up until I think 2024 or 2026. I'm not sure, but now it's time to praise Yahuah. Hallelujah. Yahuah is with me. Yahuah is for me. Yahuah is greater than all of these things. If Elohim is for me, then who can be against me? No weapon formed against me shall prosper. No trap from the wicked shall prosper. No snare from the devil shall prosper. Yahuah knows who are his. Do your utmost to show yourself approved. Be ye not deceived by wolves in sheep's clothing. For in the last days there will be blasphemers and evildoers. Hallelujah. Torah Rabbah, Abba Yahuah. Torah Rabbah, Abba Yahuah. I love you all with an everlasting love, as our Abba Yahuah and the Shamayim loves each and every one of us. Shalom and blessings, warriors of Yahuah and the truth.